We are the weirdos, mister.
Listen, I'm sick. I decided to like look sick. I'm tired of trying to hide like my bags and all the stuff. So this is hey, hi, I'm ill makeup look, and I need to get this done because the October season of Audra Reigns on YouTube has started without me because I got bronchitis. So I'm actually going to take a look at this video that Sam Ravendall put out 5 days ago. It's called I Don't Know How I'm Supposed to Show Up Online Anymore. So I'm curious to see this because I know that Sam Ravendall, if y'all don't know, OG, the second wave of OG, I guess, maybe third wave. I don't really know because like people say OG and it just depends on where you were on what OG is. So anyway, about the second wave of OG beauty YouTubers, she owns Auric, a brand that a lot of people say good things about and then other people are mad that it's expensive. I haven't heard about Auric in a long time. Not to be an asshole, I just feel like that's the nature of brands over here. Do you know what I mean? These brands very much rely on us, and if we don't buy it, it doesn't really go anywhere. So here we go.
Quite possibly the sound I think is going to be horrific for this video. I don't know. Look how shiny my forehead looks, bro. I don't know what's going on here. It's almost like, you know, when you cleanse and you don't do anything else afterwards. That's what it looks like right now, but we'll take it. I feel like today is going to be sort of like a stream of consciousness video.
I like to have a super shiny forehead. Like, it's not right now, but like I like it when I clean my face and it's just like you can fucking see your reflection in it. Listen, let me live my life. Maybe it's just an Audra thing. I like it.
I'll put it in the description box because I'm good at this job and I know how to fill out a description box. The reason I feel like this video is going to be what it is because every time I go to sit down to film, I am faced with what I think a lot of creators that have been here for a while are faced with, which is like, I don't know how to show up online anymore.
Period.
I don't know what people want from me. No, I don't know what people want from me. But I also don't know like how I want to show up online, because I think something that I've long struggled with is like the things that I want to do are not necessarily in line with the things that are going to do best on my channel or be the most entertaining or the most easily monetized, let's say. And so to talk about how...
Let me stop you right there, Queen, because here's the thing. This is why I do my shit on Twitch. It's not just about the monetization, because like I have a full-time job that pays me money. The money that I make from like YouTube and Twitch is not enough for me to sustain my life. Keep this in, editor.
I'm sad.
Listen, Neurospice people, I know you have a lot of empty containers of shit. Stop saving. It's time to throw it away. Let it go. It's okay. It's okay. Throw it away. You already bought the extra anyway. You already have the extra one that you kept the empty one to remind you to get the other one. You have it. It's time to throw away the empties. Please. Thank you. I'm just trying to help. I do it too. I just want you to know that you can throw it away now. It's fine. But back to Sam, like here talking about like, I don't know how to show up online. Like that's why I do Twitch. Why I create the content here, have it edited, put it up on YouTube. I don't enjoy filming the way that I used to enjoy filming. I also don't have the time for it. I like the interaction. I can look at chat and interact back and forth with y'all. And while I can interact with comments on YouTube, it's just not the same as like a live interaction where we're just like talking back and forth and I can respond to you like right here in real time. I find that more joyous and it feels more, for me, authentic. I'm a person who needs things to bounce off of. And I find that when I'm filming, I just tend to be in this weird space where I'm trying really hard. I find that I'm having like more difficult, like I'm running around. I have to be so super prepared to film. Not that I'm not prepared to stream. I just, like there's a battery.
We came to this place. I wanted to kind of go back through just what my journey on YouTube has looked like in general. And much of this I've talked about in some capacity before. So sorry if any of that's repetitious, but I can't help myself. Okay, I just put my eye primer down and then like a shadow that matches my skin tone. And now I'm going to take just kind of like a, God, it really feels like I didn't do my skincare today, but I did. I don't know if it's just because like the seasons are changing or what.
It's the seasons.
I'm just gonna take a shadow, like a kind of like light brown shadow, just to like run it through my crease because I'm gonna put on my cream shadow afterwards. You know what I mean? It's gonna be great. So okay, here's the situation. Let me paint you a picture. I started doing YouTube as a job when I was 19 or 20.
Oh my God.
Somewhere in that realm. And at first, it was genuinely enjoyable because like, first of all, Instagram and YouTube and just all of those platforms were so different at the time. Like they looked so different. In a good way, in a fun way. Like everybody's explore page was the same. We were all kind of having this communal experience. I was like young. I was excited to be posting about the thing that I was passionate about, which was makeup. And it was just really enjoyable just connecting with people from all over the place. And then
wait, can we just have like a quick moment for the fact that her nails match everything? Go on, girl. Look at this. Her nails match the compact, match her shirt. Get it, girl.
Connecting with people from all over the place and then starting to connect with brands that I loved and all of that. Like it was just a really cool time. And then getting to travel and like meet other creators and stuff, like all of that was just such a cool experience. And then I started traveling to LA quite often because a lot of brands were situated there, and a lot of content creators were situated there too. So it was just kind of like natural progression. I started traveling there a lot. And then I started to get really caught up in feeling like wow, all these people are so beautiful and I'm like a normal looking person. Like that was my thought in my head, is that I was like, I don't like quite fit in with this group. And I felt like I think that I just like didn't align in certain ways. And that's not to say that there's anything wrong with the people that I was like around. It's just, I think I became successful in this job despite myself, not because of the type of person I am. Do you know what I mean? Okay, I'm going to apply my cream shadow I'm using.
I think it's hard. I think that, yes, normal looking. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that because I'm normal looking. I have really high cheekbones, but I'm normal looking. And so like, I think that that's one of the things that made her very successful. There were a crew of the creators at that time that started to pop off because they weren't Hollywood beautiful, is what I'm going to put. And I'm not saying that to be like derogatory. I'm literally saying like because of the fact that there were people who were just like normal looking people putting on makeup, it's actually more helpful, right? Like it's hard to watch someone like a Scarlett Johansson trying to show you how to do makeup. It's like difficult because you're like, yeah, it's easy for you. You already have that template. Like you started with like really good material and like I'm me, you know what I mean? So like I had that sensation as well. I think this is why I had like a whole and continue to have affinity for the normal looking girlies, because I want to see a makeup look come out looking bomb on someone normal, not someone who's already extra fab. Not saying she's not fab. Don't take it weird. Don't piss me off.
The Auric Smoke Reflect in Defiance. This is our kind of like bronzy color. So it's like a bronze cream on the bottom. And then the top is like super intense kind of like gold champagne shimmer. I'm gonna use my Smith 230 brush for that. Also, the best thing that I can say, because I feel like cream shadows are becoming kind of more popular, where you want the most amount of pigment, that's where you want to touch down your brush first. So if you want it to be like lighter on your inner corner, don't start on your inner corner and then blend outwards. If you want it like deeper over here, start there, blend outwards, because the less product you have on your brush, obviously the lighter the application will be. So don't try and like put it down where you don't want it to be darkest and then spend all this time trying to like blend it into a different space.
Yeah, that's why I look like a monster. Let me show you. Look at it. Feel my power. Feel my flames. That's why I look monstrous. This is a combination of shit.
That makes sense. Anyway, so I feel like I became successful at this and did okay for myself financially, like despite the type of person I am, and just like against all odds, basically, is how this came to be. And so I started to feel kind of like, I don't know, like I had a little bit of a chip on my shoulder and I felt kind of like hard done by because I felt like I didn't fit in, and like just, I don't know, like that part was hard for me. And then I think also, you know, like I was quite young and I don't think anybody is prepared to have people talking about them poorly. It's just like, I've used this comparison many, many times, but it's like, you can go through your day, have like an otherwise completely fine, normal, pleasant, even day, and then you go to the store and you have like a bad interaction in like the parking lot, or like the cashier's an asshole to you or something like that, and it just kind of like ruins your day. That's what it feels like having people talk about you online. It's like, you can have so many people that are being so friendly and so sweet, and then it's like, you know, this small group, or even just one comment, and it just is like, you stew about it, and it just like really, it sticks with you. And like, there's things that people said to me.
I feel her on that. I don't have that problem. And I've said this before. I feel mostly confident that a lot of it is because I'm neurospicy. To hurt my feelings, you have to know me. Otherwise, I'm just like, so who the fuck are you? I am very careful about like making sure that my comments, like I do monitor those and I keep shit clean as much as I can, because I don't like my comments devolving into people who are in my community having to battle people outside of the community. I don't like that. I get that though, like because I see other people go through it and how stressful it is for them. And you know, me, I'm always just like, block them, fuck them, who cares? They don't even know you. And they're like, yeah, but Audra, it's like not that easy. I'm like, it is, but it's not. I understand that. Especially because like I see what people say
years ago that I still think about to this day. And I think there's a few YouTubers that probably have followed a similar progression of with Reddit, because I started by posting content on Reddit, and at first Reddit really, I think we liked each other. I don't know. Like I felt like the Reddit community was so supportive and so like excited to see posts from you kind of thing. And then when I started doing well, I felt like they were so excited and happy for me. And then it kind of is like, I've seen this progression not just with myself. It's like you start doing a little too well, and then they're like, do we all hate her now? Have we all like
sharp left turn, sharp left turn? We now call it the 100K curse. You know what I mean? Like now we call it the 100K curse, because like you get to 100K and suddenly everybody fucking hates you. They literally go from like, we love you so much, Lauren May Beauty, to like, fuck her. Like watching people quite literally do this on the regular, to the point where I will see people put in comments, like people are like, oh, who's a beauty guru that's underrated? And I will see the amount of people who be like, I'm not naming mine because I don't want them to get flamed here. Back in the day, I used to get upset that they named like the same 17 people. Now I'm like, oh no, that's fine. Just keep naming them. Even though some of those people are my friends, leave people alone. Because I know that is the second somebody gets like successful, oh God, it's on. It's like, does anybody else feel like, it's very wild. And I think that it's different than having comments on your video, which you can control, versus what I think, and I haven't watched this, this video was recommended to me, versus what I think that Sam is about to talk about.
We're all on the same page. Now she sucks. Okay, cool. Which, like, I have to say, I kind of understand it. Like, I think that I don't tend to feel that way towards content creators because I know what it's like, I guess, but like, I get the feeling of like, oh, this was somebody that was part of our community and now she's like, she thinks she's fucking cool and she's going to Bora Bora and shit, and can we trust her? Yeah, I don't know. I get why
I don't.
that happens, because another thing that I've talked about in the past is like, I'm kind of giving you what I give you. You're filling in the blanks in terms of like what type of person you think I am, or like what I would be like in person, or how trustworthy I am, what my beliefs are, like everything, right? You're filling in all these blanks until I show or tell you otherwise. And even then, it's like, I can't necessarily compete with like what your view of me is. So if you've already decided something to be true about me, regardless of what I say, I may not be able to change your opinion of that. And just your...
I don't get it. I actually don't get it. This is a neurospicy person, so I don't fucking fill in the blank. I don't do that shit. There's no blanks to fill in. Like, I think it's really weird the way people will do that. Well, this person seems like, because they didn't say, and I'm like, I'm literally going off of what you're giving me. Like, when I'm talking about Raw Beauty Christie, I'm going off of what she's giving me. What she's giving me is like nothing, actually. Go girl, give us nothing. And I'm going based off of that. I'm not trying to fill in anything else. I'm literally not gonna try to find additional information outside of that. Like, that's something I am with Peter Mon on. Like, I think it's weird when people start trying to like delve into the lives of people and like find all this information that they didn't volunteer. Hence why it's weird to me when people yell at, oh, we can't be happy for Jackie Aina changing her name. And I'm like, she changed it, but did she like have a conversation with y'all about it? Or did she just like quietly change it and move on with her life? I'm gonna go with quietly change it, move on with her life. And people can revoke their access at any point in time. This is where I'm like, the parasocial goes too far, right? Because I think parasocial relationships can be healthy and are healthy for most of us. We all have them. And I hate it when people are like, I don't have, yes, you do. Everybody has them. We all have them because it's a human condition. Before it was called parasocial, we still did that. It's a human condition to relate to people that you don't know, to help you get through your life and feel good about things and like be able to connect with people. Part of humanity is being able to connect with other human beings. So I don't get it. It's weird that you spend time trying to decide who someone is and you're filling in shit that ain't there. That's the weird part. Even the you hang out with or they hang out with. And I'm just like, okay, we're grown up now. We're grown ups. So there's different levels of that. It's not always necessarily true. And also, social media is weird. So just because somebody has called out with or done a collab with somebody doesn't mean that they fucking hang out. And y'all really need to like calm down on that shit. The way that y'all get weird, be like, oh, well, they hang out with this person. Like, bitch, they do not. Like, are y'all okay? When have y'all seen them hanging out? Like, I just want to know. It's people feeling like they're owed everything from an influencer, content creator, celebrity. Yes, it's getting extra weird to a point where I'm just like, some of y'all quite literally need to go outside if possible and hang out with human beings if possible in a space that isn't talking about the internet. People think parasocial equals problem exclusively of the internet, as if artists and well-known people didn't have weird as fuck fans decades ago. All of this is not internet, because even before the internet got like it is, I feel like people don't realize that like Elvis Presley existed, Michael Jackson existed. People passed the fuck out before Michael Jackson even sang a word. That's a parasocial relationship, okay? They were so excited by his mere presence, his mere existence, that they passed out. Everyone wanted to know every single thing they could about them. People don't realize that like Teen Beat and 17 Magazine and Sassy Magazine didn't exist. What do you think that those magazines existed for? It wasn't just like advertising. It was because we wanted that information. That's parasocial shit. I need people to recognize that. People are weird. Calm down.
Your perception of like how you came to that notion. And it's hard because every person that watches me is going to have, you know, their own idea of like who I am. And so what that kind of lends to is like, you're trying to meet the expectations of who people want you to be when you don't even know what those expectations are most of the time.
Please, I beg of you, have the lowest possible expectations of me. I am in no way special. I carry mail. I deliver packages. I'm not very, I don't do anything fantastic. I'm just like a person on the internet who has dry eyes and bronchitis. I'm not special. I have the lowest possible expectation. Don't let it get too high above that low. Even Sam Ravindal isn't my type of creator. There are things that she's done where I really appreciated that, and I appreciate what she did for the space and how she went about it, even, going so far as to be like, yeah, I'm not going to accept this PR, but also I have the money to buy shit. So like, that's different. I like that she would always explain her point. She's just not any type of content creator. There's nothing wrong with that.
Like, you're just like running in place. And I think there's a lot of content creators too that start to feel sort of resentful, or just like they can't do right. So then nothing you do feels good enough. And I think that lingering feeling for me, it drives a lot of how I show up online still to this day. And I remember like Reddit would like make posts criticizing whatever type of video like I or somebody else had posted, and I'll speak for myself. And then in the comment section, they'd be like, oh yeah, like I wish you would do like this or that or whatever kind of thing. And so you'd read it. I think that there's like, I had this perception that like Reddit, there's smart people on Reddit. I don't know why, it's just like something about it. I was like, yeah, the people on Reddit, like they know what they're talking about. I think I'm just gonna put my finger in. That is what I'm gonna do. And so I would go to Reddit and see like, what they had to say about like my most recent video. And then I'd go to the comment section and see like what they were saying, like, oh, I just wish you would do this. Oh, I wish you would do that. And then I would try to like do that for my next video. I would try to do like what they wanted to see from me, because I was like trying so desperately to just like have somebody be like, yeah, that was what I wanted to see from you. Good job. Spoiler alert, that never happened. It would just be like, I would go back and they'd be like, oh, somebody's reading. Hey, Sam. I'm just taking.
Yes. Okay, listen, I'm gonna get on, not a soapbox because I don't have one of those. I'm just gonna sit sprawl-legged in this chair. Reddit is a place. This is why, for anybody who doesn't go on Reddit and doesn't understand what she's talking about right there, you cannot defend yourself there. Like, this is why I've very regularly said content creators and whatnot should not be there, especially in like a BGC thread or any of that. I think it's fucking weird when creators are in there. I really think that they shouldn't do it at all, unless it's like a safety issue, like somebody checking to make sure somebody's okay. But I really don't think that you should be in there at all. And here's why I say that. Because when the tide turns against you, when they've decided that they hate you, there's nothing you can say. There's nothing you can do to defend yourself in there. It just makes it worse for you. Once they no longer like you, it's weird. I think it's weird when you're in there talking shit about other content creators and you're a creator with your full name on there. Bitch. Oh, I'm not trying to spread any tea. Then why are you here? Keep your happy ass at your video. I also think it's weird that creators get ideas from Reddit and don't say so. Admit you're there. Like, I read it and then I see your video title and I'm like, And then you go watch the video and never once do they mention it. And I'm just like, that's really weird. Just admit that you're reading it. And I get why you don't want to, because you don't want people to think that you're reading it. But like, people can clearly see that that's where you got it from. It's very strange that you've done that. BGC is for fans, not the creators, 100%. Every time I see a creator in there, like a part of me dies with their entire name. Seeing Marlena Stell in there fighting for her life, I was like, girl, stop it. I think that like actually exacerbates the problem, because it then reaffirms to the people who post in there that y'all are looking. And once they know that you are looking, the shit that they're gonna say is like fucking ruthless, bro. And like, that's the problem. You can't defend yourself. You can't do the things that they want you to do. You're never gonna please people. That's why I just do whatever the fuck I want to. But again, I have the luxury of this not being my full-time job. Like, this does not pay my bills. This pays for equipment and makeup that I review on my Patreon. Back in.
My Smith 253 brush, like kind of right on that inner corner where I need to get in, that I can't get in with my like little stubbly fingers. So yeah, this like need to have your content be, I don't know, like approved, I guess, runs deep. But then there came a time where I had been struggling with depression for like a long time, but it wasn't like overwhelming. It sort of would pop up here and there sort of thing. And I think that it was rearing its head more than I realized, but like it just wasn't all consuming. And then there came a time where it became all consuming. And at some point, I was like sitting down to film, and every time I would sit down to film, I would just be like, all I can think about is like this screaming in my head of how I'm feeling. And I want to do anything other than like sit here and smile at a camera and review an Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palette right now.
Yep.
Like it just became so taxing, kind of trying to show up in a way that I thought people wanted me to show up, and showing up so frequently online without being able to talk about what was actually going on in my life.
The energy it requires, and this is why I think it's funny when everybody just thinks that it's super easy to be like a content creator or to create on the internet. I think that's why I like doing Twitch. I can show up in a variety of ways, which I enjoy. And I think also the Twitch community, I can actively be talking about what's going on, and we can talk back and forth about what's going on. We can actually talk about what's happening right now. And it's not like trauma dumping or anything like that. It's nice to be able to do that though. It's nice to have the space and the ability to have this kind of conversation. I can show up in a myriad of ways, and my community here is happy for it. When you're filming a video, you have to be on for that video. You have to have the energy. If you don't, then people are mad at you for it.
My life. I'm going to curl my lashes, put on my mascara that was out of stock last time, but is now in stock. This is the Lounge Face Mascara. They did a packaging change. Apparently, it was like people were aware that it was going to be out of stock, and I was not aware, so just go fuck myself. But anyways, I'm gonna curl my lashes, put my mascara on, and then I'm gonna put on the Clouded Half Lash from Auric as well. Oh, wait, whoa. I need to do like a little bit of like a smudgy liner. Let's not be fucking insane here. So anyways, that feeling became really overwhelming, and eventually I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna talk about it. So I did that. I talked about my feelings, and that marked a pretty significant change in how I felt about my job, because where it had been like fun in the beginning and then quickly turned into like, this is not very fun and I'm not enjoying myself at all, and I like would like off this ride. The feeling of being able to connect with people on something that I felt so disconnected about, like I felt like I was just struggling so much and not understanding how other people were so happy, and it seemed like they never had these like hardships in their life. The ability to like, first of all, just get it off my chest of like, this is how I'm feeling right now, and then secondly, have people in the comment section be like, bro. Same. Just things started to click together in a way that like they hadn't previously, where I was like, okay, this makes sense to me in terms of like why I would share anything about my life online, because
bold of you to assume I was happy in any way. I'm still not. Life is rough. Just living is a struggle every day, but I still manage it.
That feeling of connection and having a community that goes beyond just something like makeup, which is like obviously like, yes, we all like love makeup and it's fun and whatever, and also we're like human beings with like thoughts, feelings, and emotions. That connection to me was so much more meaningful than anything else. And also it made it so that like what I was sharing now had become exponentially more vulnerable and important to me. And that's also scary, because you've probably heard me say before, but I had a friend one time say to me that I have to be careful about the type of ammunition that I give people. And basically what they were meaning is like, yeah, if you go online and talk about an Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palette and people are mad about your opinion about that, it's going to feel very differently than you getting online talking about your like deep dark depression and then people telling you you're a whiny baby, you know?
Yeah.
Like, those are two very, very different things, obviously. And so what's going to hit harder for me? And like, that's, you know, that's, I think in large part why there are a lot of people that show up online and just like, they're just doing their job. Like they're reviewing their products and they're checking out. And like, that's completely valid and understandable. And like,
exactly. For a lot of people, it's a job. I don't even think I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. Y'all need to stop pressuring people who have never had a political platform, who have never done any of that. Y'all need to stop pressuring them to say where the fuck they stand on things. Stop it. If they've never, ever, in all the time that they have uploaded on YouTube, that they've put things on Instagram, said or done anything political, they're not going to. That's not what they do. And it's weird as fuck for you to project that onto them. Stop it. Stop it. Like now me, I'm free Palestine all day, right? Trans lives are very important. Save all of us. Save the queers. Save all of us. Like save us more people who are like struggling every single day. All of us marginalized communities. Fuck yes. Trans women are women. Trans men are men. That's me, right? But you can't expect everybody to do that for you. It's weird how many people expect that because you like them. And this is what I'm talking about with the weird people trying to like fill in the blanks. I don't fill in the blanks. There's plenty of creators on this platform that do that thing that I need. And so I can just fucking watch them. I'm not going to try to force somebody to do some shit I don't want them to do. It's fucking odd. And I just think that it's weird. There's a level of like, you didn't speak out. Okay. But they never have. I understand if people have spoken out and you're like disappointed that they didn't. We still don't have the right to make them do it. Their non-answer should be an answer for you. The fact that they're like not answering should be more than enough. Like it's weird as shit that you'll just keep battling with them. But okay. It's like if you tell somebody that, you know, I love you and then like they don't say it back. That's your answer, right? There's no reason to keep being like, well, I said I love you. Do you love me back? If they don't answer, like that's the answer. Just move on.
But I think for me, what I've always struggled with is like, I'm not really like a grin and bear it type of gal, because I don't want to be. And because I don't like when people feel like they have to do that. I don't like that this at some point became the status quo, that like we just have to be like miserable but like pretend everything's fine. It doesn't feel good to me. And at one point I had another friend say to me like, you know, I would, because I posted a video basically saying that I don't enjoy this job. And it was kind of in like the thick of all this that I'm talking about. And that I don't find it fulfilling. And this friend of mine was like, you know, I'd be really disappointed if a YouTuber that I followed that I liked said that, because I don't want to hear about like all your like depressing shit. Like I want to come to YouTube because for entertainment, like, and for my own escape.
Yeah, because we're not people. We're just not people. And here's the thing, I'm a people, right? Because my channel is so small, I'm still a people. She's not a people though. She's a brand to a lot of y'all. And that's why it happens like that. If you're smaller, like me, I'm a people. I do have to combat the black part of it. Some people don't think I'm a people because I'm black and queer and autistic, but I still get to be a people way more than this white lady gets to be a people. And that's saying something.
Kind of ruin it for me if I came here and this person that I enjoyed watching was like, yeah, I don't like doing this, which is fair. But I think at that point, it was just like, I was feeling so over, Kuma has feelings about this. And I think we just need to like let her speak.
Yeah.
I think that was a valid criticism. I just was so, I just have a hard time grinning and bearing it. That's basically all it comes down to.
I like
I
that.
can't
That
do
was
it.
funny, actually.
Wish I could, but I can't, so I won't, so I shan't. And I think I used to look at content creators that always showed up online seeming like happy or like they were like very much romanticizing their life or whatever, and I used to be like, God, how are these people so happy? And now I look at them
They're
and I'm
not.
like, God, I wonder if they're okay despite the fact that they feel like they need to show up online perpetually happy.
They're
and
not
like maybe
happy.
they are just like genuinely happy. I don't know.
No.
Like maybe they just like never experience feelings of sadness. I just think that that's a very overwhelming, it's an impossible standard basically. And I don't like having to like abide by this like impossible standard of every single time I show up here being in like the best, most bubbly, most like energetic and sociable mood, because like
that's why I hate filming. I hate it because I'm not in an energetic mood. 9 out of 10 times I'm filming in a very short window of time. I'm trying to enjoy life and like do things and have fun, but like I literally can't. And that's why I moved my makeup content behind a paywall, because I'm like, I can just do this when I have time for it more and not feel like I have to be like excited. I can just be like, I bought this thing. It's fucking cool. Let's look at it. This is what it looks like on my face. This is how I do shit. I'm going to try it again. And I can keep trying it. And like, that's the other thing. I can keep fucking with it. I don't have to care about the views. Because like on YouTube, me wearing the foundation multiple times and doing different wear tests and different conditions isn't going to do anything on YouTube. It does well for my patrons and whatnot. They actually get to enjoy it. So like, I like that. Like, that's the other reason I had to slide out of the beauty space, because the beauty space does put you in a position where it starts to feel like you have to subscribe to people because everybody's talking about them. And I don't fuck with most of these people. And I don't say that to be rude. I just don't fuck with them. The people I like. But most of these people are doing questionable shit that I don't engage in. And I don't like it. And so I don't want to be associated with them.
It's not who I am. Like, just point blank, period, end of sentence. That's not the type of person I am in real life. So it's hard to emulate that online. And again, I think that in my last video, I like kept in this like short section where Matt was chatting with me off camera. And I said something about him like having given me dead batteries basically. And I was like obviously kind of annoyed with him because he uses my batteries and then doesn't replace them. And I go to use them and they're not there. I had like kept this little thing in, and like for no real reason. It's just like when I'm editing, I just like, it's not like I left it in because I thought it was like hilarious or anything. I just like, I basically cut out me repeating myself, or if I misspeak or whatever, I cut it out, and then everything else I'm just kind of like, And so I didn't cut it out. And like this one person commented something to the effect of like, oh, it was so cringy seeing you like leave in this part where you're like being annoyed with your husband or something like that. And like how, God, I just can't remember exactly what their sentiment was, but like essentially like how it was just like cringy that I left this thing in, and that it felt like, why are you doing this? Like, this is like unnecessary to add in. God, I wish I knew where I was going with that. Oh yeah, just that I feel like it's like such a like hard standard to live up to, that like I have to act, either just like cut it out, which is like, sure, fine, whatever. Or like that I have to act like, sweetie, you didn't replace my batteries, even though I need you to replace them, because then when I go to film, I can't film because like I have no batteries for my microphone, and then it's just like.
I hate this. This has been a pet peeve of mine for a minute. The pet peeve is as follows. I hate the way everyone tries to dictate, like when they do their little things about BGs that irritate you. Number one is like talking to like noise off camera. And I swear it's like no matter how many times people try to explain that when you are filming, because this is not a crew, even right now, there is a camera directly in front of me, okay? There is a camera directly in front of me. There's not a crew. I currently have to rely on people in the stream right now to tell me if like the mic is too hot, like any of that shit. When you're filming, you have no idea what the mic picks up, and you're filming by yourself. Sometimes it picks up the person mowing their yard 2 houses down or right next door. Sometimes it just fucking doesn't. And you never know why. You don't know if it like sounds bouncing a particular way that day. It's wild. And the way that people get annoyed that you did that, I don't think people even understand the first thing about what it's like when you're filming, because most of us have outside jobs. This is our second job, babes. As such, therefore, and forthwith, we do not have the luxury of time to very consistently try to make sure that when we are filming this, that it's like actually like perfect, that you can cut perfectly here and like do this. Most people are trying to film and edit and upload in like a 2-hour window, with this being like the second thing that they do, especially when it's beauty. They're like trying to like film, edit, upload, and get as much of that done in like between 2 and 6 hours. They're just trying to get that done. Some people are like either filming early in the morning or like after work and trying to like get all this shit done and have like their video up. I'm so sorry that people can't pronounce everything perfectly for you. I'm glad that you know how to say temps, okay? Good for you. I'm sorry that everybody else saying temps makes you upset and you're like, I hate the way you speak French. Why don't they just do this? Because it's not our full-time job. And even for the people that it is their full-time job, they have a lot of other demands that I have no fucking idea what they have to do. I'm so sorry that everybody isn't doing everything perfect. This isn't a movie, bitch. This isn't a TV show. Like, these are like people living their lives. It's really weird the way people do that. When people leave in things like that, it's quite literally because they're sitting there going, okay, well, there's no point in cutting this out right now because the next thing I'm going to say, it'll cut at a weird spot. There's plenty of times when I used to film all the time, where I was like, this is going to cut in a weird spot. So I'm just going to like leave this weird space in. Even sometimes a burp, where if I try to cut out a burp, like it's a weird space and I can't cut it properly, even with trying to insert something else. It doesn't always work out. So it's just very weird the way people have like down to like not liking the way someone swallows, they blink too much, don't like their voice. That is very weird. That's weird to be upset about. I guess because like I always expected the weird things that people didn't like, where it's gonna be like, oh, I don't like the way that clock looks in the background, but it's literally you. It's literally you. Like, oh, I don't like the way they blink too much. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't like the way that they tilt their head. It makes me feel like they're unsure of themselves. You're like, Jesus Christ. Back into this video with Sam, I also want to say this thing. Don't think that because I don't put affiliate links that like I'm not trying to make money. It just doesn't make me any money. So it's not worth my time to put them. If I spend 30 minutes getting links together and I make $3, that like really wasn't worth my time. So I just don't. Like, thank you. If you want to know shit, great. But I'm not trying to be mysterious.
Super annoying, and we live on a small island and it's hard to get boundaries at like the last second. So it's kind of like the Ellen DeGeneres effect. It's like you built this brand on being known as this like super nice person in Hollywood, so then the fall was so much further when it turns out that like sometimes you're kind of a dick. I don't doubt that Ellen DeGeneres has many people that thinks she's incredibly lovely. I don't doubt that there's people that genuinely think she's a dick, and like all types of in between. But it's so much harder when you set the standard of like, this is what you can expect from me, and then you can't really show up any other way because it's at odds with how you presented yourself originally or how people perceived you originally. So it's kind of like we're dealing with perception that people have of YouTubers in general, and then we're dealing with also setting that standard. And I basically at some point was just like, I want to take away at least one of these. I want to take away me setting the standard of how I'm going to show up online, so that at least I'm only having to deal with what your perception of me is, which I cannot change. Like, no matter how much I would like to, I can't change it. So
that part. Like, nobody can change the perception that people have. And like, back to her even discussing Reddit, I think one of the things that I find most disgusting about that is that people can say whatever the fuck they want, whether it's true or not, and it negatively impacts your ability to do business. People can just say something that is emphatically untrue. They can also take things, situations that did in fact happen, but then add shit to it that again isn't true. There will be things about James Charles that people say that aren't true. And that's why when people like have their, I don't know why everybody's doing this. Like, I guess everybody needs money now. And so they're doing the recaps of Dramageddon. No, babes, it's because y'all lie. It's because y'all just make shit up along the way that never happened. You remake history and rewrite history to fit what you want. And when you do that, eventually we have to come back around and be like, this is what happened, and not add any of this other shit. because y'all will just add shit to a thing. Trust me, bro. And it's really weird. Like, no, literally, like, I'm like, why are we rehashing 2016? Yeah, because what's happened is like, if you go in them right now, there will literally be people saying things, and like, these are people I don't even like. And most of the time I try to be like, I don't like the person, like their presentation online, because I don't know them. But I don't like James Charles as a person because he hasn't shown that he's a good person either, from what I can tell. But we'll add shit that's not true, or we'll say things that did not happen. Peter Mon, for the longest time, had to like try to beat down allegations, and to this day still has to beat down these allegations of being a Pedialyte. I'm going to use that for censorship reasons. Wasn't true, and it just got spread, and it continues to get spread. The things that people say about his accident are horrific. I don't understand why people think it's acceptable just because you don't like somebody to lie about them. And here's the worst part. I'm gonna put my big face in here one more time. For those of you who, for whatever reason, if you don't like me, you can just unsubscribe. You don't have to wait for a reason. You don't have to wait for me to do something. You don't have to wait to hear something that makes you comfortable unsubscribing. Because again, I don't know you unsubscribed. Like, I'm not checking you for that. This isn't my job. I don't know. No, none of us know. Just unsubscribe if it's making you uncomfortable. If you don't like somebody, just unsubscribe. Because the way that y'all will eagerly jump on means that you didn't fuck with that creator for a while anyway. So when a lie comes out about somebody, the way that so many of y'all are like, oh, unsubscribe, I'm like, then you didn't fuck with them. And I say this because something so small and little, or something stupid that the other person is not even verifying, like, people can just literally go on there and be like, this person bullied me off the internet, or this person did this, and like, there's no receipts, there's no proof of it. You just say it, and then everybody just goes, oh, okay, yeah, I agree. What? Weird. Like, if you don't like somebody, it's cool. We all have our people that we just don't like for whatever reason. Like, I don't like Mr. Beast, and I didn't like Mr. Beast beforehand. That doesn't make me special. I just didn't like him beforehand because I found it weird, because I watch horror films, and he very much reminded me of a very particular horror film called Would You Rather.
I'm hosting a dinner party tomorrow night, and I'd like you to join us.
And I didn't like that. Also, Death Race. That's why I don't like Mr. Beast.
But there'll be other guests there. People who just haven't received a fair shake in life.
If you've ever seen the movie Death Race, you've ever seen Would You Rather, you'll understand like why I had that feeling about him.
Each player will be given a choice between A or B.
There's just people where I'm like, I don't like them for whatever reason. It's okay for me to not like them. We don't all have to agree. We don't all have to like the same people.
Tough cookie, tough break, tough shit. And I think the result of that is that my content became exponentially less interesting and engaging. And just like me as a person, I became less interesting and engaging, which, you know what? I think I'm actually okay with. However, all of this rambling to say, still, every time I go to sit down and film, I'm like, God, I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, because all I want to do, honestly, is like basically show up as is. Like, oh my God, I went to this yoga class one time. This was the best yoga studio ever. Me and Alyssa, when she lived with me, we used to drive an hour out of our way to go to this yoga class and then an hour home. 3-hour rounder for 1 hour of yoga. And it was the best, and I would do it again and again. We used to go, like, there was a time where we were going almost every day. It was so good. Oh my God. But this one time we did the yoga class, and then when we were in like our final like cool down shavasana kind of thing, where you're like literally just laying on a mat if you've never done yoga before. It's so great. I just like, let me pay you for me to rest. That's the best investment I could possibly think of. But anyways, this instructor, he was like, I wanted to read you guys a book. I was like, yes, read me a bedtime story.
Hi.
He read us the story basically about like how sometimes you can be red, like angry, mad, whatever. Sometimes you can be blue. Sometimes you can be yellow, like all these different colors and like what that means for like your emotions. And he said, and like the end of the book is basically just like, show up any color that you are. And he was like, that's like what I want from you guys, is just to show up like exactly as you are and like all join this practice together. I cried just thinking about it. I cried when he did it. But it just was like, oh, like this is so much what I want in my life in general. This whole YouTube video is so pointless. I just can't even believe it.
It's not pointless.
That's what I want.
I disagree with you, Sam. It's actually not pointless. For me, I like this video because as like the teeniest of tiniest of smallest creators, I enjoy seeing creators of your size. Like, this is what I'm saying. I don't like her makeup content. I never have. I like when she just comes and chit chats. I enjoy the way that she just like come as you are. That's the shit I come for. Most of the creators that I like, it's because I like them as a person, not for what the fuck that they do. And so to me, I like this.
think that like over time of, you know, this whole journey of like being kind of like under a microscope a little bit, which like I think it's worth acknowledging that like me on the spectrum of YouTubers, I'm like extremely small. Like what I'm experiencing is like so minimal in comparison to, you know, the likes of like YouTubers who are like millions and millions and millions of followers. But regardless, it's like you can be, you know, much smaller of a channel than I am and still experience so much criticism. And it's not like a boo-hoo poor me thing. It's just like a, this is so deeply unnatural thing to have this much criticism and have people be so forthcoming with their thoughts about you so consistently. Like,
yes. My favorite thing that's happening currently, and by favorite, I mean awful, is like this very constant weird thing for people like, oh, I like this person, but their makeup's 2016. Bitch, if you don't like it, stop watching them. What's wrong with y'all? There is something so dark-sided about the way that people can't just not watch something that doesn't bring them joy. I don't get it. Why can't you just not watch them? Again, I'm tired of the argument being like, well, this is the internet. That doesn't have to be the internet. It's weird. It's weird for you to say that. Like, just because something is that way doesn't mean it has to stay that way. You can literally help change it by like not engaging in that behavior. Again, this is why, you know, Fefi brought up like BGC is for fans and not creators. It's like, yeah, don't go there. But also for some fans, it's like, if you see your favorite creator mentioned, just like, don't even fucking go in there because it's going to make you mad. You're going to get upset. I've seen my friends get eaten up for like just dumb shit. And I'm just like, really? Weird. So I tend to be very careful about what threads I open there, because if I open the wrong one, it's just unnatural to have every possible criticism of yourself just like available for everyone. Like anyone can say anything. Yikes.
You know, when I think back to like my normal life, it's like if I think about like criticisms that I faced like amongst friends or family or like jobs or whatever, it was like so rare realistically. But online, it's every single day, multiple times a day. And it's just not, it's literally just not normal. Like it's a bizarre way to live. And I think that what I came to feel so deeply is like just this need to understand and be understood. Not in a way where it was like, if only you understood me, then I wouldn't have to be accountable for my actions, but more so like, I can understand why you're showing up in my comment section like this if you can understand why I'm showing up the way that I'm showing up online sometimes. I don't know. It's just like my whole therapy and journey, like such a large chunk of it has been trying so much to understand why other people do and say things that they do and why I do and say things that I do, because that not only gives me compassion and understanding for other people, but it gives me compassion for myself. And it makes everything feel less like loaded. It just doesn't carry the same weight anymore. Where before it was kind of like, if I was having like a argument with a friend, I'm gonna be putting my Lisa Eldridge skin tint on. I acknowledge that this like doesn't match me very well anymore because my tan is fading. I picked up other shades. It's gonna take a minute because it's coming from God knows where, the UK. We say things all the time that we don't mean, or like we say them like a little more harshly, or like maybe we mean them in the moment, but like we don't really mean them that overall, or we generalize or whatever. I would internalize that so deeply. And like that would become my new narrative about myself. It just like things hit so hard until I got to a place where I was like more understanding and patient about the fact that similarly to how when my emotions are heightened, I say things that I don't really mean, or I like speak out of turn or whatever that looks like, so do other people. And therefore like I can give both them and myself the benefit of the doubt of like this not needing to be as devastating as it initially feels. So at this point in my life, because of all of this, it's like I like to essentially give people the benefit of the doubt and be less consumed with people showing up however they need to show up that day, you know? So like not taking it personally if someone seems like they're in kind of like not the best mood. And that has honestly really changed the way that I consume content online because...
But also I would counter it with this. Sometimes when I'm not in the best mood, I type out the comment and then I delete it. I don't post it because everything doesn't need to be posted. Everybody doesn't need to know every single one of my thoughts. They don't need to know. Like just because I can doesn't mean I should. Jeff Goldblum told us that in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
One of the things that a lot of us have to do who consume internet media is recognize that on the other end of this is a human being who has thoughts and feelings and going through some shit. It's one of the reasons why even when I talk about somebody, I'm very adamant, like, do not go over there. Don't be weird. They know, they're aware, but I'm also, I'm not gonna say obligated because it isn't my job, but I do feel like it's important to let people know kind of what's going on. And I'm a snarky bitch and I'm gonna be snarky. That's not gonna like magically disappear just because I'm on the internet. I do try to be as fair as I can. I'm not always gonna be fair. I'm a human being and I have biases and I don't give a fuck. It is who I am. At the same time, coming into the comments, being weird, that's not a vibe either. Like, I don't mind having a conversation back and forth that's actually getting somewhere and all of us learning. Like, there was a comment thread on, it was so wholesome. I even commented, it was like, I loved this thread. It made my day, because one person was like, correct me if I'm wrong, like da 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 da. And they were a white person learning from marginalized people and people of color. And there was no like, you're stupid or any of that. It just made me really proud of my community. That's the kind of shit I'm here for. What I'm not here for is just like, your eyeshadow's not blended. Okay. And your fucking avatar is of a fucking anime character. So who's really insecure, bitch?
Similarly, judge people the way that I was being judged, which is like, if I felt like they were being snippy, I was like, oh, well, then clearly they're just like actually a bitch, and they normally put on this like friendly face, but like deep down, they're an asshole. Sad but true story. I've cracked the case wide open. And in that same kind of realm, something that I've told my therapist so many times is like, I feel like the person that people want me to be online, just not me specifically, but just like anyone, like the person you're supposed to be online, at least like from what my feeds kind of tell me, is at odds with the type of person I want to be. Because I feel like we've entered this realm of like being like basically unrelenting, unyielding in our criticisms of people in the name of critical thinking. And I think critical thinking is actually largely the last thing people are doing. Like they aren't looking at the situation as a whole. They're
Discernment.
kind of like cherry picking this information to put together a story that they're then like just running a marathon with. And once again, like I just like have to be so clear. I don't know where I was going with this. So I think we'll just kind of have to leave it where it landed. Basically what I'm getting at here is that my intentions are to continue showing up exactly how I have been, in a non-interesting, non-engaging, yet feels the best to me type of way. So if you're along for the ride, thanks so much.
I like that.
Enough. That's valid. You know when you get like super into something and it's like a more recent, you know, like hobby or interest or whatever, and it's like all consuming, like it's all you can think about, it's all you want to talk about, but like you might not necessarily have people in your life who are like interested in that same thing. Like,
yeah, that's why I have a
plants,
YouTube
where, like,
channel.
super into-
Who gives a fuck about the things in my real life? No one. But you know who cares? The 579 people on YouTube who watch every single one of my videos. And that's who I make this shit for. I honestly feel like the characters that we've been trying to create for so long, and I get why people do it, because it separates you from the character. And I've said this about Trisha Paytas for a long time, is that like she had so many characters, you could always see when it would break though, when somebody would hit like real Trisha Paytas with some shit, right? And then the mask would fall and then she would be devastated because somebody had attacked her actually. I'm not gonna obviously give passes for the shit she's done. That's not what I'm here for. She is my problematic fave. But I think that there is this level of people feeling entitled to be able to tell you how they feel about you, how they feel about the content that you create. Mine's not it's just this is just my fucking brain. Like I dump my brain onto YouTube. You know, I'm not having kids. This is my legacy. I just dump the thoughts that I have about things at any given point in time, and I put them here. Sometimes I change my mind. Sometimes I don't. It's nice to have a space where other people are like, yeah, I feel you. I don't feel alone in what happens in my life. It's helpful, especially because in my real life, I don't have a lot of time to go spend time with friends and do things because my job doesn't really give me space to have a life. I just want to come and brain dump. I don't want everything to have to look absolutely perfect and professional. And then there's people who absolutely don't want you to know anything about them. And it's very weird that will continue to try to find out things about them when they don't want you to. Like, leave people the fuck alone. If they wanted you to know more about them, they would have told you. Also, I really like her makeup here.
Going to the gym or something like that. You get super into something, it's all you want to talk about, and you just want people to be as excited as you are. That's how I'm using my platform these days. When I feel so moved to show up here and be like, hey, this is what's going on in my brain, I'm just hoping that it lands with, 1 to 2 other people so that I can talk about it with them at length. A group chat is essentially what I'm getting at. That's what I'm looking for in my life. I'm just gonna apply my Glow Lust in Selenite. I just have my little travel size one here. So yeah, I'm trying to be conscious of like how things are making me feel and not doing them if they make me not feel good.
Period.
And doing them if they do make me feel good. I was like, I have to say that like, I was going into this video with the intention of talking about my child's speech delay. And I was like, I feel like I have to just like acknowledge the fact that I understand my content is like so all over the place and largely self-serving because I'm basically just coming on here to chit chat.
As it should be.
And have been for years now. And it doesn't.
As it should be. It's called YouTube. I think that people forget that. literally called YouTube. This is a space where all of us with our like weird little creative brains just show up here and try to share our creative minds and just share that with the people who resonate with it. I've said this and I really do mean this. Like I'm not a person who, even if after, let's say I make 3 more videos and on the 3rd one everything explodes, I make double what I make at my job, I'm still not going to quit my job. I'm still not. My job has benefits. It's not all consuming. And literally every time I have like a long vacation and I can just be like, quote unquote, a creator on the internet full time for like that vacation period of time, by day 4, I'm kind of itchy. I need something else to do that isn't this. I have to do other things. I have to go to the store. I have to hang out with people and do other things. But like the thing is, when you're a creator, everybody else has other shit that they've got to do. So they can't hang out with you in the middle of the day. They can't go to the store with you. They can't do these things. So you're just kind of stuck on this island by yourself, which is why, again, have creator friends. I think that I have finally given up on the concept of having multiple channels. I'm just putting it all here. If I do a movie review, it's going here. Why am I going to spend all of this energy and effort? Because like, again, this isn't going to be my full-time job. I don't want to spend all of this energy and effort making like 40 different channels so that I'm not confusing the YouTube algorithm or confusing my audience. Like, you just don't watch it. You know, the 579 are going to be here. That's who I'm making this shit for. Thank you to everybody else who showed up though. I appreciate you. I thank you for coming in and watching it and enjoying it and commenting and being out there. Like, if y'all even knew like the stress I have over just responding to comments, it's so stressful. Am I saying too much or did I say enough? I just responded with an emote, but like also I have to go get ready for work and, or I have to start getting ready for bed. I'm tired. Seriously, fuck having a niche. I hate the concept of niche. I hate hustle bro culture, the grind and set culture that YouTube has become. I just want to make shit and enjoy it and find other people who enjoy making the shit. Like, I like having, interviews with other people when I can. If like Sam was like, hey, let's chit chat. Yeah, let's just talk about dumb shit. Like, talk about movies. Do you watch horror films? Let's talk about it. What's your favorite? Like, that's the kind of stuff I like to do. Like, and do I still have makeup? Yes. I just talk about it behind a paywall. I don't enjoy all the bullshit that comes with talking about makeup. It's fucking annoying. I like this. I hope she continues
doesn't
this.
Serve any particular purpose other than just like for me. So I was like, I'll just do like a quick kind of 5 to 8 minute spiel talking about that. And here we are. All right, guys, that's really it. Thanks for hanging out and chatting. I'll see you next time. And
perfect. I love that. I love that. Sorry, Robert, but not today. Congrats also, Robert. Congrats on the collab. Yeah, I liked that. What she's talking about, and just to bring it around to the beauty space, I've been saying this for a while. The beauty space will not get better because of the sponge of silence, which I will continue to call it that because I think it's hilarious. And if you don't, maybe I'm just not funny to you. That's okay. But like the way in which people are very like, I came for the makeup, not for you. There are creators for you that do that. And I think that you need to stop watching those people. Stop watching the people who have more to say than just bring you the makeup and just watch the people who only want to bring you the makeup. I think it's good for your mental health as well, because like I also get off Reddit. Like I get off. Yeah, Feffy, I legit cannot fathom just being there for the content, not for the person. Seriously. Like, I can't either. Most people I watch, it's because I like them. I came for them. I stayed for them. Like, that's who I'm here for. And the thing is, if for whatever reason we don't vibe anymore, I'm just like, I do that very regularly with people. But then there are other content creators where I just feel like their shit is getting better and better. And I find it more and more enjoyable. Like Khadijah and Bo, I find them more and more enjoyable as we go along. And so like, I want to enjoy the person. I want to watch that person and enjoy them and enjoy their journey and like enjoy watching them grow. And I'm happy for them. I don't turn bitter and angry that they've gotten more success. I also had to recognize that like the reality behind, a lot of YouTube sponsorships and whatnot, when we want to talk shit, like YouTube doesn't pay like it used to for multiple reasons, and people have bills to pay. As much as a lot of these things suck, like until real companies take online media creation seriously, like we're just stuck with these bottom of the barrel ass sponsorships. People are going to show up online how they show up online. That's what made TikTok so popular, is that people were just showing up as themselves and not as a carefully curated version of themselves. And I have mad love and respect for people who are opting out of that. And I hope that that's better for people. I hope it's better for Sam. Opt the fuck out of showing up the way that you think that everybody needs you to show up. And that's what I did. I was like, I'm opting out of showing up the way I think people wanted me to show up. That's not what I want to do. I'm going to show up how the fuck I want to, and you can, take it or leave it. So I'm Audra. Subscribe if you want, like if you want, and if you don't, that's cool too. Maybe I'll see you in the next one. Maybe I won't.
Remember, one day, the last person who holds a memory of you in their heart will pass on, and then there will be no memory of you left anywhere in the universe.